Hi, I'm Brad, firefighter driver with Winona Fire Department. Today we're going to teach you a little bit about the Winona Fire Department, take you on a brief station tour, and show you some of the trucks. Winona Fire Department, we are a combination department. We have 19 full-time firefighters who are on the trucks throughout the day on 3 different shifts. We have 17 part-time firefighters and 3 chiefs. Let's head out on our tour. We're here in the watch room. This is a place that when we have groups come visit, we like to bring everyone together and talk about fire safety. So we're going to talk about a few things today that you should really review with your parents at home when you have a chance. Right here I have a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector. These are important things that everyone should have in their home. So make sure with your parents that you have these. Every bedroom should have a smoke detector. And outside of the bedroom or in a hallway near the bedrooms, there should be a carbon monoxide detector. With these, you want to make sure you read on the monitor itself or on the back how long it's good for. Some of them are good for a few years, some for up to 10 years. So make sure you know your detectors. Also with batteries, some don't need batteries changed for 10 years until they go bad, and some need batteries changed every 6 months. So when you buy these, make sure you read up on them when you put them up. Some other things we like to talk about with safety is making sure that you know the number to call in case of an emergency. So talk with your mom and dad and let them know that you know if there's an emergency, whether it be a fire or a medical emergency, the number to call is 911. It's also important to know that this number should only be used in an emergency. So make sure this is never something that's done unless it's a real emergency. Another thing to practice with your family are exit drills in the home. So make sure that everyone in the family knows how to get out and where to meet in case of a fire. Last thing we want to talk about is stop, drop, and roll. So we talk about this with young kids a lot in case your clothes would catch on fire. What you need to do is stop, drop, and roll and smother the flames. So that's also something you can practice at home with brothers and sisters. Show your parents that you know how to do it. Alright, we're here in the Central Station kitchen. The kitchen is an important place. We're here for 24 hours. So today our day started at 8 a.m. and we'll be here until 8 a.m. tomorrow. So we eat 2 or 3 meals a day here at the fire station. So we work in teams of 3, and every one of us takes a turn to cook on our day. So if it's my day to cook, I go do the grocery shopping that morning or the day before I get to work. I'll buy the groceries that I want to cook for the guys, and then I'll make the meal for dinner. And then we also eat meals together, so we do spend a lot of time together throughout our day. Alright, we're here on the 2nd story at Central Station. This is the hose tower. The hose tower extends from the 2nd story all the way down to the basement. After a fire or after we use any hose, we need to wash it, and this is where we would hang it to dry. We're here in the workout room in the upstairs of the Central Station. Here we have a variety of workout equipment. We have weights, we've got a treadmill, stair climber, and a lot of various other things that we can use for different workouts. Part of our job is to stay in good physical condition, so we're required to spend some time up here every day making sure that we stay physically fit. We're in the hallway upstairs at Central Station. You can see along the walls here we have a lot of pictures from historic fires, just a lot of historic pictures. We take a lot of pride in the history of the Winona Fire Department. So I want to take this opportunity to talk about one other important safety tip, something that we'd like you all to talk about with your moms and dads, and that's the importance of sleeping with the door closed. So the term we use to remind us of this is close before you doze. And the reason we do this is the amount of fire and smoke that a door can protect us from just by remaining closed. So always remember to close before you doze. Here we are in our classroom or training room. An important part of our job is training, learning, making sure we're ready for whatever type of emergency may arise. We train in many different things like swift water rescue, high angle rescue, ice water rescue, hazmat, structure fires, and EMS. So there's a lot we need to know. So this is a very important part of our station, a place where we can learn and continue getting better. Our goal is always to learn something new every day. At the Central Fire Station, we have 4 poles, 2 of which are still in service. These go from our 2nd floor down to right next to the trucks. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when one of us goes down the pole. We're here with Firefighter Ryan. He's gonna put all his gear on and show you what it looks like when a firefighter is wearing all their gear, wearing an air pack, and breathing off of tank air. So Ryan's gonna go ahead and start by putting on his boots and his bunker pants. We keep them in a ready position like this so that he can basically step into his boots and pull up his pants and do it real quickly. So the goal is once Ryan has all of his stuff on to have no exposed skin. So the next thing Ryan's putting on, he's going to put on his hood, which will protect kind of his upper chest, his neck, his ears, and his head. So once his hood is on, he'll put his bunker coat on. And you'll notice how quick Ryan can do this. So the goal is to be able to have all of this done in under a minute. And Ryan's really taking his time right now so that you can see how it all goes on. All right, he's got his helmet on. You see on the helmet he has a pair of goggles that can be used. He's got a flashlight on the side of his helmet. And then he's got one last thing to put on, but we'll wait until we have his air pack on. He's going to put his gloves on. So next Ryan will take his helmet off, and he'll show you how to put the air pack on. So with all the gear on and the air pack, that's going to add about 50 pounds to what Ryan has to carry. So you can see why firefighters have to be in pretty good physical shape. So there Ryan's got his air pack on. Now he's going to put his helmet and gloves on, or once he puts his mask on, he'll put his helmet and gloves on. So this is a special mask that allows us to hook up to the air bottle, and that'll allow Ryan to breathe in a hazardous situation. So Ryan's going to pull his hood up, he can put his helmet back on. And the last thing that he needs to cover is his hands. So get his gloves on, and then we'll turn his air pack on so you can kind of hear what it's like when he's breathing off tank air. Another important thing is that before we go into a hazardous environment, we always check each other over. Make sure we've got everything covered and good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and turn Ryan's air pack on. You'll hear some different noises when it comes on. Put that up. So now the air from Ryan's tank is ready to go through the hose into his face piece. So you can go ahead and hook that up. So right now what you hear is Ryan breathing the air from his bottle. Then we also have a voice amp. So now Ryan can talk a little bit and you'll hear what he sounds like. Say hi, Ryan.
Hi, Brian.
And that beeping sound you just heard there is an alarm. So if Ryan stays still for too long, that alarm will start to beep so that we can find a downed firefighter that might be in trouble. This is engine 1, which is currently our frontline apparatus. We take this on all medical calls. The reason we take a big fire engine on medical calls is that every year we have a lot of overlapping calls. So we might be on a medical call and then have to go to a fire. So this way we would have all the tools with us that we need rather than have to come back to the station before we go to the fire. Engine 1 is something we would use to respond to any medical calls, any car accidents, or structure fires. Now let's go through some equipment. Each of our frontline engines and ladder trucks have 2 crosslays. So in the upper compartment we have an 1 3/4 crosslay, and down here we have a 2.5 inch crosslay. Each of those have 200 feet of hose. Over here we have an electric ventilation fan that we might use to get smoke out of a building after a fire. We have some different fire extinguishers that we can use for small fires. And each of our trucks carries a chainsaw that we use for a variety of different operations. Up here we have 2 high-rise packs. These are each 100 feet. They can be used to add on, to extend the length, for example, of one of our crosslays, or we might use them in a high building, something that has its own piping that we can hook up to and attack a fire that way. And up top here we've got brooms and shovels we use a lot of times to clean up after car accidents. Each of these smaller compartments has 2 air bottles. So if we need to switch out our air bottle on our SCBA, we've got extras here. Up here we have some different nozzle attachments or adapters for the hoses or nozzles. We carry water on all of our trucks to rehydrate after an extended scene. And then we've got some tarps. Here's our pump panel. The driver will use this to get water out of different discharges. So each lever and gauge will tell us what pressure are coming out of the different discharge. Down here we have our hydrant bag and our makeup line. So this has all the tools that we need to get a hydrant connected to our truck to get more water. In the back of engine 1 we have access to our hose bed, which carries 5-inch hose, 2.5-inch hose, and we have a 200-foot pre-connect to a blitz fire, which is a piece of equipment that can put 500 gallons of water on the fire per minute. Down low here we carry some ladders. On this truck we have a 24-foot extension ladder and a 14-foot roof ladder, and we also have a couple pipe poles in that compartment. Over on the officer's side of engine 1, we carry a lot of equipment that we use for car accidents. Here we have our extrication tools, sometimes called the jaws of life. So this is a spreader, we've got a cutter, and 2 different size rams. Here we have equipment for stabilizing a car that could be tipped up on its side, or just something to prevent it from rolling. In this compartment we have a variety of hand tools, things that we might use on car accidents or to get into a building, things like that. And then down here I also have some of our EMS equipment. So in this bag we have different medications, things we might use on a medical call. And this is our monitor, which can function as an AED or take vital signs, among other functions. Here we are by engine 2. Engine 2 is currently our backup engine at Central Station. We have 3 engines in our department that carry pretty similar equipment and have a lot of the same functions. So we have a frontline engine here at Central, which was engine 1, a frontline at West Station, which is currently engine 4, and this serves as our backup engine. So if we have a big scene where we need another apparatus, we could bring our backup engine, or if one of the other engines is getting some maintenance done, we'd have engine 2 take its place. Okay, this truck here we call 230. The main purpose of this truck is to carry equipment and personnel. So if we have a structure fire, we can fit 5 people in here to take to the fire. We've got extra air bottles. In some of the other compartments we have extra SCBAs or air packs. And this also carries all of our rope rescue equipment. So we've got 300-foot ropes, 150-foot ropes, bags that have a lot of different equipment, and then all of our harnesses and helmets, along with other random things that we would use in a high-angle rescue. With the bluffs around here, this is a truck that gets used quite a bit. We use it for training and high-angle incidents. Okay, we also have a UTV, which we can use for any kind of trail rescue. We carry a Stokes basket on the back, and we also carry 100 gallons of water in the tank, and it has a fire pump on it. So we can take this if we've got a small fire in the woods. This would be something we would take to take care of that. All right, this is our tanker, which carries 2,000 gallons of water. We use this if we have an area where we don't have fire hydrants or someplace that's hard to get to. It also carries some of our wildland firefighting gear. In a lot of the videos you've seen these yellow hoses, so I'm going to show you what these are used for. We hook these up when we put our trucks in the station. We hook them up when we're in the station, that way when we start our trucks, we don't get a lot of exhaust in the station. It's carried through this, which is called a plume event. In our trailer, we carry equipment for confined space, trench rescue, and structural collapse. This is our SRU, or Special Response Unit, which we use for hazardous materials response, swift water rescue, and ice water rescue. Okay, we have an 18-foot boat that we can use for water rescue. We use this out on the Mississippi River, Lake Winona. and anywhere we'd be called to help out with. Our boat also has a pump on it, so if we have a boathouse fire or a boat that's having an issue, we can use it for that as well. Behind me is Truck 1, which is one of 2 ladder trucks that we have at Winona Fire Department. At the West Station we have Truck 3. Truck 1 has a 105-foot ladder, and Truck 3 has a 75-foot ladder. The main function of these trucks is to respond to structure fires. That concludes our station tour. We hope you enjoyed seeing some of our trucks and areas of the station, and hopefully you picked up some fire safety tips along the way. Thanks for joining us.